Okay, hello everyone. I'm Stan Larocque. Welcome to our Paris office in Lynx once again. A very special and important update today. Once again, it's not scripted. I just have a sheet of paper with all the subjects I want to touch base on with you. We're going to segment the video after, so majority of the people are watching not live. So if you're catching up, you can jump to the chapter that is of interest to you. But there are many topics. I'm very excited. I'm very happy to share all the news we have today with you. I know there is a Pimax event soon. I know there are many things going on in front and behind the stage of XR. There is the Apple event as well next week, but keep a little bit of the excitement for Lynx as well, because it's getting real. The first topic I wanted to discuss is the fundraising that we finished last week. So you might have seen in the news that we were able to raise $4 million, and hopefully by the end of June you will see another bit of news regarding funding. But this is a very positive thing for us. I'm going to discuss a bit about that for a few minutes. The first thing is I want to say thank you once again to everyone involved. Matter of fact, I even had an investor that watched those videos actually, and I'm very thankful for the investors that joined. So you might have seen in the news that the leader of the round was Somnium Space. So Somnium is a company doing I don't like to say it, but they're basically doing a metaverse, but they're doing XR content around blockchain. It's very interesting, but Arthur, the CEO, invested in Lynx for different reasons. I wanted to reassure people that we're not pushing any NFT or blockchain into Lynx. Arthur and I are very much aligned on what the future of XR is and what it should be, especially around the values we have here in Europe, around privacy and all that. So I'm very happy, I'm very thankful for him. We have another investor. His name is Samir Pedala. He's super excited to join the project, and I am too. He was an engineer on Google Daydream and Meta, working on Android. He's going to be of great help on our platform as a technical advisor as well. Another company invested. They're working. It's a Swiss-based company. They're working on security systems for smartphones, and they want to also work in XR. So thanks for these guys as well. The cool thing is that I'm still in charge. I'm still a CEO. People continue to trust me and the team here, how to navigate the market and work on our products. So it's really, really cool. You have to take into account that, like 4 million might not be much. In fact, compared to the other big tech companies and all the news you see, it might seem nothing, like a day or two at Facebook Reality Labs probably. But you also have to know that, for example, if we take the case of Facebook, they have 17,000 people working on that. So for every person at Lynx, there is 1,000 clones at Facebook Reality Labs. So, 4 million for us, it's a lot. We raised almost $1 million in 2019, and with that we were able to execute everything you know about Lynx today, like the product, the roadmap, the team here. So imagine what we're going to do with 4 million. I'm really excited. I'm going to share as much as I can with our project, but you have to know that much of that is going into the production of Lynx R1 for both the Kickstarters and also the first batches of devices. So, because with the money we raised with Kickstarter, it was great. It was a success. There is no question around that. But when you're manufacturing a device like Lynx, which is kind of like a smartphone that you put in front of your eyes, if you look at as a system engineer on that, it's an Android phone with weird displays and weird cameras. It's a mobile system. So the people that are manufacturing that, they are in Taiwan, mostly in China, sometimes a lot now. And they are going for quantities. You have to show them quantities. You are going to pay a very high price if you only build a few thousand devices. So our bet was, okay, we did this Kickstarter with more than 1,000 devices, with not much really. We weren't able to show everything we wanted with Lynx R1. But it was already something. It was already kind of a success, and the VR and AR ecosystem was showing the need for Lynx to be at least on the table. So from there, we gained more orders, and we have very good projection numbers that I'm not going to share because my competition is also watching these videos. But it's really positive, and we needed to secure some very important components and our relationship with Compal. So to give you, so Compal is the same OEM that manufactures the framework laptop. If you know this open source project, they're manufacturing half of the computers on the planet. They're manufacturing the Apple Watch. They're very professionals, and they go for volume. So we're working there now. And last thing about the fundraising is Arthur. It's a funny story. When we were doing the Kickstarter, we invited a few YouTubers, a few influencers in the AR and VR space. You remember maybe the video of Cass and Chari, then the video of Sebastian from MRTV, and the video of Nati, who was able to demo Steam VR on Lynx. And after Sebastian from MRTV came to Paris, and we talked a lot, and he was great, and he made the intro to Archer, to Somnium. So when we closed the fundraising last week, I emailed Sebastian and Archer saying, "Hey guys, remember that intro email? Then today it's leading to Somnium being the lead investors and Lynx taking off. So you never know where an email can end up. So it's great to share that. So yeah, about what we're going to do with this money, I was talking about Taiwan. So Taiwan, I told you on the last update that we have someone there, Greg, who is our first employee overseas, but not on the side we intended to at the beginning. But we have someone in Taipei who is close to Compal and speaks Chinese, French, English, and I told you that before. And we're going to open an office. I'm going to fly there in a few days, weeks, depending on the visa, to officially open the Lynx company there. But it's exciting. It changes everything when you have someone near, like the manufacturer, and to overview like what's happening and all that. So I'm going to be there for a lot of weeks this summer, actually, to make sure that the devices are great. And if I need to come back to France or to go somewhere else, we'll always have someone there. So I'm flying to Taiwan soon with the hardware teams to make sure that the devices have the quality that we want, and I'm sure they will be. But we are going to gain a few weeks in the delivery time just by being there, really. So that's for Taiwan. I'm excited for this trip. You will hear more about that hopefully before the end of June. Something else, because we had a lot of questions still about that, the controllers. Very good news about the controllers. So, hand tracking is working great on the full spectrum of AR and VR. It's universal. It's easy. A lot of people, pick up their headset, and they before picking up their controllers, they would pinch in with their hand tracking to click on opening apps and stuff like that. So hand tracking is definitely important both for VR and AR for many reasons, and this is like one of our bets on the headset. But the controllers, we have an update that we did with Finch. We are going to add some electronics in the headset to enable optically tracked controllers. So the same kind of controllers that you know from the Quest devices with the with the ring, with the AR LEDs tracked by camera, so you have very accurate tracking with an IMU in the controller. We are going to have exactly that in Lynx. So it's not going to rely on hand tracking and fail in weird conditions and all that. So the tracking volume won't be the same as the Quest product. I'm making this comparison because people always compare to the Quest. But we have like 150 degrees cameras pointing like that. So you will be able to play most games on Steam VR and on the on the apps that rely on controllers with this. To give you a perspective on what we did. So this is the main board inside the headset. I'm not going to put it too close to the cameras because, as I told you, my competition is also watching. But basically, this is the XR2. This is the storage chip. On the other side, you have like all the connectors, and you can see that our board is not symmetrical. It's not symmetrical. There is a tiny leg here, and we're going to put some components here, some Nordic chip to sync with the controllers. It's not going to rely on standard Bluetooth. It needs more timing control. So we already have the SMT and the electronics ready to put on the board. The routing is done, so that's almost plug and play. So that's a very good news. I'm not saying that the controllers are done, but it's much better than what we anticipated with hand tracking mixed controller. I don't have any idea yet of exactly the pricing and the timeline. We're going to work on that with Finch, but it's really exciting. Stay tuned. So that was for the controllers. Okay, next stop, AWE. Among the exciting events that are coming up, there is AWE that is starting tomorrow. As you can see, I am not in San Jose tonight because of this Taiwan thing that we might take the plane tomorrow. So we won't be at AWE if some of you are going to the show, but there is a Lynx headset there. If you haven't tried Lynx and you want to look at it or to try it, there is a Lynx unit that should be at the Ultraleap booth. So look for the Ultraleap booth. They have a Pico there with hand tracking, and they will also have a Lynx with the usual demos and a prototype for launcher. So that's for AWE. We didn't go there because it was like the previous edition was in November. It was too soon. We didn't have like that much to show, but we still want to have some headset on the floor, and Ultraleap was offering to also have a presence there. So we're thankful for that. Okay, so next stop, the ecosystem. So yeah, there is, if you look at the XR ecosystem today, there is certainly a lot to tell. And I tweeted about that with like all the shadow acquisition and backstabbing and everything going on basically on the hardware side of things, because it's moving really, really fast now because of the lineup of upcoming products. But it's interesting. I wouldn't do any other things today. So the ecosystem on our side, I have two things to share. First is that we are almost done with OpenXR, almost done with releasing our SDK in the wild before releasing the headset. So if that's still our priority, and that will enable the Volvic browser to run on the headset. We are working with them still. So the headset will be WebXR compatible. And next, the App Store. So it's not drama per se, but we were ready to sign something with SideQuest to have this partnership. We still want to work with them, but they retracted the contract. I don't know why. I hope they're good. Our door is still open, but it looks like we won't have SideQuest running at least as a first-class citizen on the headset. So we're still going to have an app store, but it's not going, I think, at first going to be with SideQuest. I honestly don't have an answer why. They just told me that it doesn't look possible today. And again, our door is still open to discussions and partnerships as always. Just we started the effort of making an app store on our own, and we thought about, we are in the process of hiring a lot of people, and we have some very good Android devs, and there is an architecture that we are doing around F-Droid. So if some of you know the Android ecosystem, there is something called F-Droid, which is basically another app store client for Android phones. And we're going to take this, keep it open source. I don't know if it's GPL licensed, but anyway, we're going to keep it open source and make a F-Droid client in AR and VR in our headset. So it should use the same mechanism as F-Droid. So we're going to be able to have some contents protection and distribution on the headset. It's just that lately we had to figure out something without SideQuest. So I plan to hire more people in software, but with this kind of news, we're going to hire much more people in software development. Anyway, so that was for the ecosystem. It's not a bad news. It's not a bad news per se. It's just, things are moving. We don't always have the reasons why. But that's like that. Okay, another update about the deliveries of the units. So it looks like we're going to have the first few hundred devices this summer, and we're considering two things, like sending some units to Kickstarter backers that are also developers, depending on the where they are in line, of course, and the apps they're developing. We have a list already. We are also going to send a few as a loan and like for a week or two for some partners and some other developers in the ecosystem that would bring a lot of value to Lynx, to bootstrap our ecosystem. And then our mass production is happening after, in September. But that's what it looks like today. And again, I'm going to be on the shop floor in Taiwan to oversee that and make sure that we can, gain some days, some weeks. That's our first priority. And this is also why we raise money and we hire so much people lately. And as a last note, hiring and distribution. So our office today is still in Paris. We're still, we believe that all the people working at Lynx should own the company as well. So everyone working at Lynx at some points owns shares of the company, and we only hire people for like long-term relationships. And we don't take interns, or we cannot really take juniors today, except for some roles. But for the engineers we hire, the average age is 43 years old. It's getting lower, but that's how we process those hirings. We are going to still be in Paris as our main R&D facility. We opened something in Taiwan to oversee the manufacturing. We might open an office in the US. I don't know exactly when or where. It's going to depend on a lot of things. But just so you're aware, we have an amazing office, and tomorrow we have one more floor available. So we are going to double the size of our office space. And I don't even know what kind of machines we are going to put here, but this floor is going to completely transform as a workshop with all everything we need to build optical components, mechanical components, like doing real hardware and some electronics. And upstairs we are going to put mainly software, demo area, and some other stuff. So that's for like next week, like, and we're getting the floor tomorrow. And last things, the distribution. We're also looking for partners in distributing the headset. We already have a list of people that follow the project for a long time, of course, but for all the countries on the planet, we want to have relays for Lynx. So feel free to reach out to me or Shuki in the team here about that. If you want to have good reasons to support or to join Lynx, I think there are many. The first, I think the most important one is I think we need, in the XR landscape, we need a company like ours. I still believe that we're continue to do the right things. I mean, that's my belief. But we need this challenger, this underdog to those big companies, even with the resources we have that are nothing and dwarfed compared to those megacorps. But what they are going to put on the market are silos, like closed ecosystems next to another one. And we need, like the Linux of that. We need something that is more open and something where developers can still make money, so that has a good enough user base and people also enjoy the device and the experience. That is very hard to achieve. We want to achieve that with 4 millions. We want to achieve that with even maybe the next fundraising that we already started. It's going to take time. These things take time. Like even the simple fact that Lynx is on the map today and we exist and we are in the mind of people in VR and AR, that's already a huge success. And the fact that everyone in the team here can find a job if the company crashes in a very good company, that's already a success to me. But we're not stopping there. We really want to be this European champion, like I said in the press release. I still believe that developers should at least look at our SDK when it's going to be released and look at porting their app and making some efforts so we have this other ecosystem. In our action, we're going to open source most of the work. We want to, with all the innovation we're bringing with Lynx R1 and the next versions of the hardware, we also want to not see closed ecosystems. It's going to turn into Apple and Samsung all over again, but with Facebook this time, which is even worse. So we clearly need our project. We definitely need to exist, but for us to be a player, like a big player in the game, it's going to take some time. So I'm just telling you to not be frustrated when you see some polls on Twitter like, hey, what headset do you want to buy, and see links at the very bottom. The simple fact that we're in the polls and people are talking about it, we're already there. It's getting there. So just hold on. Let us work a few more months. We know what we're doing. We know how to navigate this market quite well now, and I'm not worried. I'm just frustrated because I see like some path in front of us and like the end games that we are going to face, and I'm just frustrated by the time it takes, but it's only time. Now we have the resources, we have the will of the ecosystem and people around us, so I'm not really worried. Also about other headsets, like Cambria or the Apple headset, it doesn't really matter. I mean, of course it matters. Of course it's going to bring very positive signs that we are doing technologically the right thing. And even if Apple is coming on the market, it's going to raise the valuation of all the companies in the field, because Apple will send this message of, yeah, that's the market for us, because we're going for $40 billion market, and XR is there. So it will be a positive sign. So anyway, everyone is working for the same agenda, and we're in the game. We are definitely going to stay. I was worried at the beginning of the year, like this race, the team here is very well aware, but it took us so long, and even with the best intros and the best, even when you make a company, sometimes when you have the right idea and you have all the connections and you have everything you need, you still fail sometimes. And I was afraid, but we're past that point, and now we are on to the next challenge, and I'm excited. So that was the news for today. Sorry, I talked too much. That was 30 minutes. I will take some question and answers. I hope I can bring you some answers. I think we covered a lot, but I will stay a bit. So sorry I didn't look at the chat during the whole talk. But I'm going to do another video in French, because the thing is, sorry, I will look at the question in a minute, but we got a lot of press in the US and in Japan, for example, where our fundraising was relayed here, like the information or Road to VR or those websites said, hey, Lynx is raising money, they're getting serious, they're going to secure the production, etc. And in France, we're not that, we don't have that kind of attention at all, because coincidentally, the XR market, the XR industry is not very well mature in Europe and especially in France. So we had our first French journalist coming in the office last Friday, and they are going to put a video online for French people in 10 days or 2 weeks. And so it made me realize that I have to make a video in French for French people to say, come and work for Lynx. We need this project. We have the talent as French engineer. Like most of the brilliant engineers I know working in Silicon Valley at megacorps, most of them are French. So we need to do something, and I'm bringing this project with Lynx R1 and what we have down the line for engineers to work on here, even with the possibility to bring back some factories in Europe to build those products. So yeah, that's my plan. Sorry, I'm looking at the questions now. All right. Okay. How can a backer apply as a developer for early unit? Just send us a message. You have to poke us. We're a small team, but we're keeping track of the developers that could make applications. Hey, wondering what the state of the Unreal Engine implementation of the SDK? Good question. Unreal Engine will be supported once we land and we completely finish OpenXR. And from then, it will take a week or two to have Unreal support. Because Unreal is a great OpenXR runtime support, so maybe July maximum, depending on Qualcomm, of course, with what we're working on with them regarding OpenXR. Did SideQuest told us why they have canceled their contract? I'm not sure they even canceled. I don't want to breach any NDA, and I don't have data, and it's not our things to share here. But we don't know the reason. We don't know the reason, and yeah, I don't know. So we have to work on something on our side. As I told you, it's going to be based on F-Droid, and we have someone, his first day at Lynx is tomorrow, and he's going to take on that subject, and he's very talented. Can you say something about using Lynx for playing fitness games? Will AR be better for those kind of games? Is it going to be compatible with HoloFit, with rowing machine and exercise bags? So we don't have integration done for a lot of third parties objects. We're working with gloves, with suits, haptic suits, but for fitness, I think the strap of Lynx can be used for fitness. You can move your head a lot, do very complicated movements, but honestly, I haven't seen anything like that on our platform yet. Maybe it's yours to do. Are there any new demos other than the space one? Yes, we have some samples that Ultralip is probably going to show you tomorrow at AWE. There's the launcher. There are some new stuff that the team is working on. Right now, you have to know like where we are in the software development. We are working on the launcher and the onboarding. Like when you put on the headset for the first time, what are you going to see? How are we going to teach the user how to use their hands, to explain the difference between VR and AR with the pass-through and you know the cover and all that. So we are in that process, and that is a demo in itself. Just wanted to say I am rooting for you all and hope you all the best. Thank you, Yona. Is there a support email for shipping related question? We are going to open that. So we opened the surveys for Kickstarter. We're going to compile all the data, and we are going to have someone working on the shipping information for everyone. We just need to hire that person. It's coming. We have that down the line. How does the recently announced Qualcomm Snapdragon AR reference design compare to the Lynx? I didn't try them. It's a different device. It's pretty much like the Unreal glasses, I would say upgraded, and wireless, I think, with the smartphone. So that's very cool. I haven't tried the optics. I haven't tried it. I can't tell you. I just think that the platforms that Qualcomm is building is very good, like the foundation for XR. This is why we're partnering with them and very happy with this relationship. When is shipping date? It's a moving target, as I told you, sometime during the summer. I know it's not a good answer, but that's all I can tell you. We still need answers for some of the components. We secured all the components on the main board, which is a pain. But we still have some things to figure with between Taiwan and China, which is a complicated matter, as you know. What do you think would be a killer app idea for the Lynx? I think there are many killer apps. I think if you're building some kind of game where the user is really interacting with his real world, with pass-through, with like creators and basically a Pokemon Go on stamina, on steroids. Sorry, that would be great. Okay. So when do you anticipate all Kickstarter backers will be received? I think the first one, July, August, and then everyone in September, and then mass production will follow up from there. So we're really in the end game right now. It's very stressful for us because the software team is rushing against the hardware team. We have to stabilize the software so that when the hardware is there out of the factory, we have to flash the correct and production software. You have to know we don't have 17,000 people working on that. It's new for us. It's stressful. We want to make it right. We're a small team, very dedicated with a high quality standards because we cannot fail. But we'll get it as soon as we can. All right, I'll take like one or two questions. Will the SDK have an environment reflection probe based on the camera data to get realistic materials, especially metal for rendering, similar to like ARKit, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I think it's coming. It's part of Snapdragon Spaces, so we don't have this ourselves. I know maybe through Snapdragon Spaces you might have that. So that's like third-party integrations will bring you that. Is there any third-party controller supported by the Lynx? As I told you, there is a first-party controller from Finch that we are going to work on a lot, optically tracked, standalone, just like what you know with HTC, Pico, and the Quest. And then we already have some compatibility, full compatibility with Steam VR, like lighthouse tracked controllers. The best example will be the Vive controllers. No, the Valve Index. Sorry. Is Lynx going to natively integrate with Steam VR? Yes. News coming up as soon as we have OpenXR, but Valve told us that when we land OpenXR, it should be easy to run natively in the headsets. I don't have more information to share today. Did adding extra hardware for the controllers had any significant time delays? No. Okay. So we are going to stop for today. I'm going to leave you with all this information to digest. I'm going to recap the video. We're going to write on the Kickstarter page by tomorrow. And that's it. And see you next time. And yeah, keep an eye open for us because it's moving very fast now. And I'm very happy where things are going. And again, thank you for your support, everyone. Yeah, stay tuned. Bye.